Hi guys, welcome to Baverstock family. Today I'm going to be speaking about Tanisha's story and how she died and when she was ill and everything like that. Guys, some of it might be quite hard to hear and upsetting. Just to warn you, but before I start, I'm going to tell you a bit about Tanisha. She was the most lovely girl. She was kind, she was caring, everything. Tanisha was, like the perfect person. She's one of 9 and she is probably the only child that I never had to tell off. The furthest Tanisha went was tooting or stomping up the stairs, and that was it. She was so respectful. She was just lovely, and as you can see, Tanisha was very loved. She had a lot of friends. She was really into her friends. Her friends at school. Then she would come home. She would speak to them online, and so that's another reason why I've been there for her friends as well, because Tanisha would have wanted that. Some people want to judge me for being on social media after my daughter has passed away, but the reason for that is so I can be there for her friends, because I can't be there in person for them all. So I've been doing it that way to try and keep some of them strong. Also, I'm honouring Tanisha because I feel the world needs to know how wonderful and special she was. And yes, and just thank you everyone for your support and your kind words, and it's just been amazing. So Tanisha, she got a cough. She wasn't ill, she just developed a cough, as you do when you get a cold and this and that. So I treated her with cough medicine for the first 5 days, and that wasn't really touching the cough too much. So I then thought to myself, let me get her stronger medicine like Benylin or something like that. So we got Benylin cough syrup, and it wasn't really doing too much. So I said to Tanisha, come on, let's go to the doctors because I feel you have a chest infection. So we went to the doctors, and I said to the doctors her symptoms and things like that. And the doctor listened to her chest and done the normal examinations, and he said she just got a chest infection. And she was a little bit breathless, nothing major. So he subscribed me a pump, the blue asthma pump. I can't remember what it's called, Sabutamol, something like that. And he gave me a blood test. And when we got in the car, Tanisha was a bit anxious about having her bloods done because she's never had a blood test in her life. So I thought, let me just have a look if this blood test's urgent. If it is, we'll go now. So I've looked at the bloods, it wasn't urgent. So I said, right, it's not urgent, so the doctor's not that worried, Tanisha. So what we'll do is we'll get on with the antibiotics and we'll do the bloods in the week. So she felt a lot better for that. So we started on the antibiotics. She perked up a little bit for the next few days, but she started to deteriorate again. So we went down for the bloods. We had the bloods done, and I then had to make another doctor's appointment because she was becoming slightly more breathless. So they subscribed me another Sabutamol asthma pump. They electronically sent it over to the pharmacies where we collected it from. So I thought, okay, with that and everything else, hopefully she'll get a little better. That didn't really work. So we had to wait a whole week for another appointment for the results of the blood, which was on a Friday. So by now I'm getting very anxious. So I called the surgery on the Wednesday just to see if the bloods were back. And the lady on the reception said, yes, we've got our bloods back in. So I was thinking, great. So she had a look and she said, I can't tell you what the results are because there's something in her blood. Right, okay. So can you not tell me anything? No, we can't. You have to wait for doctors to tell you. So imagine, guys, I had to wait another 2 days till the Friday for the appointment to find out what was in her blood. So the Friday came, we went to the doctors, and the doctor said that there's some infection in her blood. So I was like, right, okay. By now, Tanisha was deteriorating slightly more, her breathing, she was a bit more weak, she was losing weight. I got the doctors to weigh her, and at that point the doctor said that she was weighing smaller than what she was even 4 years ago. So the doctor was quite concerned, and he said, have you been on holiday or anything? I said, no, I haven't been on holiday. And he just had this puzzled look on his face, and he said, she's got all the symptoms of TB, tuberculosis. So I figured to myself, tuberculosis, how would she get that? I mean, guys, I don't really know too much about that disease, but I was listening, and I said, do you think it's that then? He's like, I'm not too sure, but she's got all the symptoms for it. So he got onto the phone to the hospital. So I'm thinking, okay, we're getting sent to hospital. I can finally, we can work out what's wrong with her. Then he's come off the phone and he said that I've made you an appointment for outpatients for Tuesday. Now this is Friday, so I'm thinking, oh great, so now we're going to have to go the weekend until Tuesday. So I thought, as you do, you trust the doctor. And think obviously it can't be too serious, otherwise the appointment would have been made there and then. So Tuesday's come, and we've gone off to the hospital. Tanisha is deteriorating even more. The doctor has then seen Tanisha, and I said to him about her weight loss, and he said, she is quite, thin. He said, Tanisha, what do you have to eat? Breakfast, lunch and dinner. And because she was so weak and breathless, she took a while to answer him. And he turned around and said to me, oh, I don't trust young girls when they take a while to answer. So to me, that's almost you saying that she's anorexic or with some eating disorder, why she is that thin. So I felt that he'd automatically made up his mind at that moment. And then I said about, because her head, she's got pain in her neck, so she can't really lift her head too much. So he examined her neck and her head, and he pretty much told her to stand up straight, or because her postures are wrong. He was showing me her shoulders, that they were curving. He said because she's in this hunched posture, that's why she needs to stand up straight or she'll develop a hunch, and just to straighten up basically. And I saw Tanisha become very conscious of this, bless her, and she tried so hard to straighten up her posture. And then I said to him, what about her bloods? I've been told that there's infection in her bloods. Because I'm a person, guys, I ask a lot of questions. So I said, the bloods, the infection, and the doctor was like, nothing to be excited about. He just shut me down like that, just like that. And I then went on to say, what do you think's wrong with her then? Have you got any idea? I just think it's viral, there's a lot going about. So, which then gave me a little bit of kind of confidence, okay, it can't be nothing too major. Well, I'm not a doctor, what do I know? Then he said, I'll send you down for her chest x-ray. So we've gone down for a chest x-ray. They was very, very good down there. We came back upstairs and I had a school run to go on, so I had an hour before I could leave. But I said to the doctor, what do I do for the results? Do I wait for them, or should I do my school run and then come straight back to the hospital? And he said, he gave me a form for antibiotics for her, a 2-week course for 3 days for 1 week, and then 3 days for the next week. I was confused, thinking to myself, why is he giving me antibiotics when he said it's a viral? But once again, guys, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. So I thought, great, maybe these are going to be a lot stronger than the antibiotics she was on before, and hopefully she's going to get better. So that said and done, he then got the x-ray out in front of him. He was in a room with 3 other nurses, and he looked at them and he said to me, "Oh yeah, I can see changes of the lungs." And I was standing there, I said, "What does change of the lungs mean?" And he was just like, "Change of the lungs." And I was thinking to myself, oh wow. And he did embarrass me, guys, because there was other people in the room, and I was thinking to myself, should I know what this means? But I don't. I really didn't know what it means. And he said, make an appointment to come back in 2 weeks' time. So the nurse made an appointment for 2 weeks' time, which was the 12th of February, and that's my birthday. So I knew, I didn't even have to write it down. I knew when I had to come back. Then the nurse showed him the date. He said, actually, I'm not going to be here that day. So he made it for the 25th of February, which is in a month's time. So anyway, we went down to pharmacy, and I said to myself, there's no way Tanisha can go a month, no way. And I thought, after I give her the dose when I get home and the dose in the morning, if she's no better, I'm taking her straight to A&E. I'm not having this, because like, it's just not even funny anymore. So I went down to pharmacy, and I was so desperate, guys. I asked them there at the counter bit, what does changing the lungs mean? And they was kind of looking at me, and they couldn't really answer, because I don't think they even really knew. So I went home. As soon as I got in, I had to make her antibiotics up. It's like a powder version, and you put water with it and, make it up like that. I gave it to her, and literally I was like, Tanisha, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling? How are you feeling now? And she was like, yeah, Mum, I'm fine. I think it's working. Bless her. And I just watched her closely, and I thought I'd give her the next dose in the morning, and if no changes, that's it. I'm taking her straight to hospital. So the next morning I've got up, got Tanisha up early, give her her dose. I've taken the children to school, come back, given the babies their breakfast, and then I've had a call on my phone from the same hospital, a paediatric nurse, saying that they've just looked at Tanisha's scan and there's something growing in her chest that I need to come into hospital. I was like, what? What do you mean? She's like, there's something growing in her chest that's hard, but somebody else is going to call you. So I've got off that call feeling numb, like, what? So I've had the next call from another doctor saying that this is very serious. Tanisha has something very, very nasty growing in her chest, and the next 24 hours is crucial. And I said, but I was in hospital yesterday, and I've got an appointment to come back in a month. I've got antibiotics for her. I don't understand. Something nasty? What do you mean? And I said, what, cancer? She said, yes. Oh, guys, I nearly dropped the phone. And I just couldn't believe we was there yesterday, and the doctor was so rude. And obviously he saw something changing in the lungs. I still don't understand, still to this day. So I had to then wait. But so basically she said that they don't know if I have to go to Bristol Hospital or Bath Hospital. Someone will call me shortly. So I then called the school to say I want to pick up my children early. I packed a bag for Tanisha, and while I was in the school getting my children, I had missed a call from the doctor. So I've called the doctor straight back, and it's gone on to the voicemail. So I've then contacted the hospital direct, spoke to a receptionist. She tried to email him, and I said, look, I haven't got time to waste. I've got to come in. I don't know what hospital I'm going to. Then she said, I'll personally look for him. She asked for my number. I gave it to her, and she said she'll call me back. Guys, an hour went by, no call back. I then called back again, and I said, look, I need to know where I'm going. I've been told to come in, blah, 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 blah. She said she'd call me back again. No call back, guys. So in the end, I said, no, come on, Tanisha. We've got in the car, And I've just chanced it that it was Bristol Hospital. And I was thinking, please God, let it be Bristol Hospital. And so I've got everybody in the car. Tanisha said to me, Mum, what's wrong with my lungs? I said, don't worry, darling, we're going to get you sorted out. Try to keep her calm. Drove up to Bristol Hospital, which was a long way from where I live. And guys, there's no car park. They don't have a car park at that hospital. I couldn't believe it. So we've had to park quite a way up. You can't even put the car outside quickly and run in. It's just not possible to do that. So we've had to park 10-15 minutes up the road. So can you imagine, Tanisha had to walk 10 minutes to the hospital. She could barely walk. By now she's deteriorating more and more and more. And it's only now I'm thinking to myself, if they knew it was such an emergency and what they saw, why didn't they send her an ambulance on blue lights? I just can't get my head around that one. So we got there. I've got into A&E, said her name and why I'm here and that it's an emergency. And guys, we was left in A&E for 4 hours. In that time, we went down for a chest x-ray again, come back into A&E waiting room. It was packed. Tanisha is deteriorating by the minute. She said to me, Mum, my nails are going purple. I looked at her nails and I couldn't even believe it, guys. They were bright purple. So I called the nurse over and I said, my daughter's nails are going purple. And she brought over this wheelie oxygen machine. She put it onto her finger to do her oxygen levels, and she said, oh no, that's fine. We'd be more concerned if her fingers were going blue. So once again, I thought, what do I know? I said, Tanisha, you heard that? If they go blue, so I kept looking at her nails, guys, to see if they got turning blue. But purple obviously is not good, but... And then Tanisha couldn't really hold her own head. Her head was getting weaker and weaker. And in this A&E, there's no chairs. It's like these hard benches. And she just wasn't comfortable. And I then again called the nurse over and I said, can Tanisha have a neck brace to help support her head? And she said, we can't give you a neck brace. So she rolled up a bit of blanket, a small blanket to place under her neck, which wasn't really doing anything. Everybody was looking at Tanisha. She was literally leaning forward like she was going to fall off the bench because she was so weak. Then I had to say again, can my daughter have somewhere comfortable to lie down? Not lie down because she couldn't lie right back, but just so she could be comfortable. She can't sit like this. And after about the 4th hour, they gave us like this side room in A&E. Guys, this is just, Then the doctors came down, 3 or 4 of them. They apologised. They said they had an emergency to deal with upstairs. They asked me what's been going on with Tanisha, and they gave her like a little examination, and they tried to lay her back on the bed, but she couldn't breathe properly. So after that, they've pretty much said, your daughter has lymphoma in her chest. She has cancer, lymphoma cancer, and we don't know what kind of lymphoma, but she's going to have a biopsy. But we can't put her to sleep because her breathing, so she's going to have it awake. Then they said to Tanisha, you have cancer. Do you understand that? And Tanisha, with her head down, was just like, yes. I was thinking to myself, how can you tell a child like that? Guys, I was so angry. But it was done. She was told, and I couldn't believe it. Cancer. I said, but I was in hospital yesterday. I was sent home. Guys, I had her antibiotics with me in the bag because I didn't want her to miss a dose. And anyway, they said that they're going to put her onto the ward upstairs. And I thought, great, now she's going to go onto a cancer ward. Like, this is just goes from bad to worse. So we've gone upstairs, and Tanisha's very, very weak now. And you can stay, there's a bed in the room where you can stay with them. I had the 3 babies, small little ones with me, so it was impossible for me to stay. So I said to myself, there's no way she's staying on her own after she's just been told she's got cancer like that. There's no way. Over my body, there's no way. So I called my son. He's at university. He was a good 2.5 hours away. I called him, told him the situation. He jumped straight in his car and he came down. So I waited for him to come. We've done the handover, and I thought, well, at least she's going to be with her brother tonight. I can take the babies home. Guys, it was about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning by this point. The babies were falling asleep. So I left them some money to get some Domino's pizza to order in. I gave Tanisha a kiss and I said, I'll be back tomorrow, darling, and we can sort out what's going on. And she said to me, Mum, I don't want to lose my hair. I said, look, don't worry about that now. You want to lose his cancer, so don't worry about your hair. We'll get a wig. There's some nice fun laces out there. You'll be rocking it like Nicki Minaj, so don't worry about that. So then, guys, I've gone, and I thought to myself, right, in the morning, I can get up there and just, just see what stage the cancer's at, and we'll go from there. So I'll come back home, put the children to bed, got up in the morning, took the children to school. I've sorted out the little ones so they can go to their dads. And then I started making my way up to the hospital. And in that time, Tyler had called me, my son, to say that she's going down for an MMI scan. And I thought, great, at least that's being done in the back end while I'm on my way. So by the time I get to the hospital, I will know what stage it's at, or if it's spread or anything like that. So at least that's done. Guys, that was the hardest journey up there. My head was just spinning. So I've got into the hospital and I've got into the room, and Tanisha's surrounded by all these doctors. So I couldn't really get to her to give her a hug. So I give her a quick kiss on the head, and they're drawing on her neck because they said they can't take a biopsy from her chest. They're going to take a piece from her neck, which you have to be awake for. So I had to sign the consent for that, and then straight after that, the next people came in to put her line in for chemo, and this line can stay in for a lot of months. So I was talking to Tanisha through that. Bless her, it was quite an uncomfortable little procedure to have done. So she had that done, and it didn't fully go somewhere in the neck where it should have gone. So they said the line has to be scanned before it can be used. So I was thinking, oh wow, look, see, once again. But you know what? Don't even think about that. Then straight after that, they said that some more doctors are going to come in and scan her heart, because maybe that might be a reason why she's struggling to breathe. Because guys, that night that she stayed in hospital, she couldn't even lie back. She had to have the bed so upright. That's the only way she could try and sleep, because obviously the cancer's pressing on her lungs. So the next doctor's come in to scan her heart. Sorry guys. Hello, Francis. I'm good, thank you, but can I call you back in 5 minutes? Yeah, that's fine. All right, thank you, bye. Hello, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, the heart people have come in and scanned her heart. And at that point, they've noticed that Tanisha had cancer on her heart, squashing her blood vessels and her airways. And they also noticed she had a lot of fluid surrounding her heart that was squashing it from beating properly. So the doctors called me out and he said, your daughter, the next 48 hours is critical. She's in a very critical situation. We're shocked that she's still here. She's going to have to go into intensive care after. At that point I said, have you got the results for her MRI? He said, yes, we have, but obviously we're getting on with this, fair enough. He said, so she's going to go down to theatre now to have a heart surgery, but she's going to have to be awake for it because it's too dangerous to put her under. So I've gone back into the room. Next thing, the next set of doctors have come to wheel her down to theatre. So it was just literally all back to back to back to back. So I've gone with her. They said I could stay with her because she wasn't going to be put under. So I'm thinking to myself, right, she's going to have this heart surgery, then she's going to have the biopsy straight after, then she's going to go into intensive care, and my head was just blowing up, guys. So anyway, I've gone with her, kept her calm, and I said, Tanisha, don't worry. She was a bit nervous about this heart surgery. I just had to say, look, almost like your blood test, they're going to just put the needle in your heart and drain the fluid. So it's not going to be as bad as the biopsy, so don't worry. Guys, Tanisha didn't even cry. She remained calm. She was so weak. She was struggling to breathe even more at this point. Just... Anyway, so we've gone down to theatre, and just before we've actually gone into the actual theatre, there's like a room just beforehand. So I had to fill out some, give my consent basically. And we were talking to Tanisha, and one of the other doctors said the line that's been put in can't be used. It has to be scanned first. They put Netflix on for Tanisha to watch while she was in surgery, and she was watching Shrek the Third. So I was talking to her, keeping her calm. So we've gone into theatre, and there were so many doctors in there. It was unbelievable. So then I can't remember if they've put her on another bed or she was on the same bed. Oh, I can't really remember. But so basically they've got on very quickly. They've told me to sit next to her. So I'm holding her hand, and in the other hand I've got the phone with Shrek the Third on. And they've had to lie her back just a little bit. So they performed the surgery with her sitting up, but because she was too upright, they had to lift her back a tiny little bit. So as they started lifting her back, they started to put the needle in her heart. And at that moment, I could hear Tanisha doing all of this breathing. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And then she's making that noise more and more and more. And she's squeezing my hand, and I'm like, it's okay, Tanisha, it's going to be over soon. And guys, she's doing this suffocating noise, even more intense. So I was thinking to myself, can you not just lift her up so she can catch her breath? So I thought, oh God, I couldn't believe it. So I then said, have you started draining yet? They said, yep, we're draining now. Guys, she's suffocating. And next thing, she's made this noise that you would never hear. And it's a noise when your body expels all its last oxygen, this deep, powerful roar. And she then was like, just before that, she was going, Mum, Mum, Mum. And then she made this roar sound. Then she made it again. Then the alarms all went off. And then the nurse said to me, Mum, I think you should leave. Guys, I was just like numb, thinking, what the hell? Couldn't they put any breathing tubes down her or anything? So because I was by the side of her, I had to walk around her bed to come out. And I walked around the bed and they're all rushing around her. And I said, I can't leave her. I can't leave her. So guys, I walked back and I looked at her. And as soon as I looked at her, I saw her pass away. And how I knew she passed away, her head went to the side, her tongue was hanging out at the side, and her eyes were wide open but not looking anywhere. And I knew from that moment she was gone. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That face, I just knew it. And the nurse said, look, we're going to do everything we can for her. But she had tears in her eyes, so she gave the game away. They told me to wait outside. I said, no, I'm just going to go upstairs because I knew she was gone. I knew it. And as I was going upstairs, I said to myself, I have to see this. I have to see a face like that for the rest of my life. It kept replaying in my mind, replaying. Like, it's a face you wouldn't even see in a horror movie. It's just to see your child go like that. So I've gone upstairs and I've then told my mum that Tanisha was gone. She broke down. Then the doctor came up and said, look, we're doing everything we can for her. So my mum said, look, Kelly, just have some hope, you know, that they can revive people and bring them back. I said, no, she's gone. I saw her face. No one else saw it. I saw it. She's gone. I know she's gone. And I think some of my family members were getting very annoyed with me. I wasn't being negative, guys. I saw what I saw, you know. They didn't. Then the doctors come back up again and said that they've had to open her chest and manually pump her heart. And she's on a life support machine that's breathing for her. And that was that. And at that moment I said, why have you done that? My daughter had gone from when I left there. Like, you're just prolonging it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, just turn it off. Turn off the machine. My daughter's gone. So at this point, guys, my family are getting very, very annoyed with me. I wasn't even being sick. I was just being real. I saw what I saw and that was it. I saw what I saw. There's no coming back from that face. There's no coming back. So the doctors then came up again and said that we're sorry, but that didn't work. Her heart's beating, but it's going to beat off. So you can go and see her while her heart's still beating. And at that point I was thinking, well, that's not really making much sense to me because she was gone from, you know, an hour ago. But you know what? Okay, as her heart's still beating, not that it's beating in that way because it's been manually made to beat. Didn't even have a chance to do that, guys, because the doctor then come back up and said that her heart had stopped. And they pronounced her dead at 6:30. So yes, guys, and that was the worst day of my life, basically. The worst day of my life. So I waited for her other brothers and sisters to come up so they could say their goodbyes. I went down to see her. And she had a tear in her eye, which was really heartbreaking. But she looked peaceful and she could lie back. So I thought to myself, at least my baby can lie back now and be at some rest, comfort. So then I went to see her again. And I took her stuff from the bedroom from the hospital room that she was in. The hospital didn't offer us any support or any grieving support, nothing like that to myself or my children. It was pretty much you can go now kind of thing. So guys, when I stepped out of the hospital, the snow was just coming down, thick and fast. And that was the longest drive home. I couldn't see. The motorway was full of snow. Wow. And yeah, guys, there's just been a struggle from there. And Tanisha was in the mortuary for 2 weeks. I don't really know everything still to this day. I still haven't even got her full MRI scan still. So I don't know whereabouts it was. When they opened her up, they said that her chest was riddled with it. It was all in her chest, or all on her heart. Her heart had hemorrhaged at some point, and the cancer was blocking her right lung fully, so she was only actually breathing from her left lung. Poor little girl, guys. Poor girl. And you know what? She didn't moan, cry, scream or shout. She just took it on the chin. Guys, she was an angel. She must have been. She must have been. And God wanted her back. She should have been having an end of life care. Imagine, she didn't even have any pain relief for her end of life. Nothing. When we got into hospital, they said they can't give her any pain relief because of her breathing. It could affect her breathing till we know what's going on. So imagine, she had nothing. So, guys, I've started up this GoFundMe because I want to give Tanisha this amazing princess funeral that nobody's ever seen. And, you know, her funeral is in 2 weeks' time, so I'd love to do that for her. And also, I want to start up an organisation, a grieving organisation for children and families, because we never got the support, and I don't want any other family to go through what we've gone through. And I've made a promise to you guys that while I'm on this earth, that's not going to happen. So basically, this grieving support centre is going to be called Tanisha's Trust. And I want to try and open as many of them around the country, even around the world, where I know you guys will get the support. And you drop your children and the kids will cook, play games, have fun. They'll meet other children there. There'll be bereavement support workers there. If the child wants to talk, they can talk, and if they don't have to. But there'll be love, caring, and you know what? I'm going to make sure that this support thing is going to be what everybody needs, and at the same time the parents can then get on with funeral arrangements. And not every parent wants to cry in front of their children, so while their children are there, they can have their cry or whatever they need to do. And yeah, guys, so this GoFundMe, I want to try and please support me with this so I can make it possible to start these centres up. I'm not going to call them centres, I'm going to call them homes, you know. I'm going to call them homes. So I need your help, guys, to make this possible. So I'm going to put the GoFundMe link in the description underneath this video. But if some good can come out of my terrible tragedy, then that puts a smile on my face. So yes, guys, so please support with this GoFundMe so we can make this possible. Tanisha's Trust, and her memory will live on. So guys, thank you for listening. It's hard, but you've heard it from my mouth. I know there's a lot of media on it, but I just wanted to say from the horse's mouth. So take care, guys. God bless. Love you all. And yeah, let's just try and be strong together. And please support me with this Tanisha's Trust. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Bye.